Okay, this is a reading for Capricorn. It's to find out who you were in a previous life. Okay, so it's a deck by Mandy Peterson. It's called the Uncover Your Past Lives Oracle. And she designed it so that people could, investigate why they're drawn to certain people, places or things. Or similarly, wish to avoid certain people, places or things and not really understand why. Okay, so it could be to do with something in a past life. It might not be, but just a little disclaimer, there is topics to do with trauma in here, so if you've experienced trauma in your life and you don't wish to be triggered in any kind of way, then or revisit any kind of trauma, then maybe click off and choose one of the love readings or my spirit animal my spirit animal reading or angel numbers, things like that. Okay, so on we go. They're double-sided, so on one side we've got a general topic and on the other side there's like a more niche kind of detail, okay, like dates and places and stuff like that. Okay, so let's give the cards a shuffle for you, Capricorn. Okay, Spirit, please would you give me some answers? Who was Capricorn in a previous life? Okay, give me another one. Okay. We've got another couple there. That's plenty, I think. So, okay, there's actually another one under there. So we've got ascetic. So we've got mystic, Buddhist ascetic, Christian ascetic and hermit. So I've not come across that term before, so I'll have to look that up. Ascetic. You're a swindler. You're someone who evaded capture. You may have been a perpetrator, you may have been exposed, you may have been swindled. I mean, that looks like somebody who is very at one with nature. So perhaps you evaded capture. Oh my goodness. You might have been murdered or witness to murder. Okay. And then we've got some detail here. You had brothers and sisters. Now this could have happened in the classical period. It could have happened in the late modern age. Okay. The lessons that you learned were leadership and walking the middle path. Okay, you could have died by fire or when giving birth. You could have had a location in the Middle East or Northern Europe. The trauma you experienced was physical limitations like disabilities, being disfigured, or material wealth, loss of material wealth. Your faith was philosophical, agnostic or atheist. You were a widow or widower. Yeah, you were somebody's wife in one scenario. You might have experienced domestic abuse. I feel like they're two separate. I feel like they're two separate things, aren't they? Because you wouldn't be somebody's wife if you were an ascetic. So let's pull that to the side. Now, Buddhism wouldn't necessarily be Northern Europe. the Middle East. Middle East wife, you learnt to walk the middle path. How did you die? Death by giving birth. You experience material loss. Well, that wouldn't go with the Buddhist. Okay, so on here we've got swindler, which is to do with money, and you experience material loss, so they go together. So a widow that experienced material loss in the Middle East. You died whilst giving birth. You learnt to walk the middle path. This was in the late modern age. You were philosophical. Okay, so that's one past life. So this has to be another one. We've got domestic abuse and murdered. You had a sibling. You learnt to stand up for yourself, leadership. This was during the classical antiquity period. You died in a fire in Northern Europe. You experienced physical limitations. Okay, that was your trauma. You were agnostic or atheist. So that's two separate ones, and then okay, so we've got Buddhist, but we've also got Christian, ascetic, a hermit, and mystic. What is a Christian ascetic? I don't know what that is. Because then maybe that would go with what could go with either a mystic, a Christian, ascetic, or a hermit. I don't get Buddhist from this. You could have been witness to a murder or committed suicide. I didn't see that before. You could have been the murderer. I mean, sometimes people do that when they're backed into a corner, like the only way it's going to end is if the only way the domestic abuse ends, which would result in death anyway, would be to murder the person. Look, it's got a poison bottle, so it doesn't mean you like had a physical altercation. You could have just thought like, I'm not going to survive if I don't do this. So I'm gonna think that's a storyline. The hermit, Christian ascetic or mystic with murder by poison because of domestic abuse during the classical antiquity period. You learnt leadership because that would fit with, you know, your lesson was leadership, so it's like I've got to take control. You died by fire, so natural causes. You're an agnostic or atheist, so that means out of this, you could have been a mystic, a hermit, or... Well, you can't have been a Christian ascetic, then it must have been a hermit or a mystic. Someone didn't murder you because you died by fire. think you murdered someone because you experienced domestic abuse. Your lesson was leadership. I mean, what is a hermit? What is that? In the ascetic sense. I'm going to look that up and I'm going to post it for you. Okay. And then, so in another life, you were in the Middle East. You were swindled. You know, you had money taken from you. You were philosophical. You were a wife that was widowed. It was during the late modern age, and your lesson was to walk the middle path. You died while giving birth. Interesting. So the issues that you may hold, or the things that you may be drawn to and not understand why. You might love the Middle East, you might love countries in Northern Europe, you might have a phobia of fire, you might have become a firefighter, you might be someone whose lesson it is to learn, you know, to be a leader. You might be someone who's really into philosophy and not know why. You might be an atheist and not know why. You might be an advocate for people who have experienced domestic abuse and not really know why you ended up doing that. You might be somebody that you know, is into forensics or understanding the cause of death. I mean, in both cases, a crime was committed. So I'm getting like a pull towards crime. Because you were swindled out of money and you end up having to murder someone because you were suffering domestic abuse. You might have gone into medicine because, you know, you died at childbirth, giving birth to a child, so. Interesting. I definitely don't see those as one storyline because they're different places, different time periods, and it just doesn't correlate otherwise. So I'll look at what an ascetic is, or you can comment below. Okay. If you enjoyed this reading, give it a like, give me a follow, have a look through the other videos. If you're not following me on YouTube, please find me and subscribe to me. Please give me likes, comment if you want to, show me what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy so much, and that way I can post more of the content that you like. I hope none of this triggered you in any kind of way. After all, it is just a tarot deck, so take it as strongly or as weakly as you like. Okay. Alright, thank you, and I will see you in the next one.